What's up, peoples? What's up, peoples? What's up, peoples? Today, on another fire episode of Scram Punks, we are going to talk about CD Projekt Red and some of its drama, the biggest games coming out this holiday season, and guess who's back? It's D Takahashi. You won't believe what he had to say. But before we get deep into that, it's your boy MM2K back again with another one. Co-host of Scram Punks with my illustrious other co-hosts. Let's go down the line. First off, my man, Dirt McGirt. That's his motherfucking name. Dirt Wiggity.
Hey, man, some of these young cats might not get that reference, but I get it.
Right.
They still scratching their head. They still scratching their temples, right, man.
What's up, y'all? This is Dirt Griggity. That's all I got to say, y'all. Let's do this.
And, yo, my man. 3 weeks in a row, no Edge. Okay, no Microsoft Edge. Good one. The only TRS.
What's going on, y'all? I came close. I'm loving the Dirt McGurk. I'm loving that, man. I'm just gonna say that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I had to get Dirt. I had to get Dirt his own. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, people? Another episode of Scram Punks. My man D Almighty, man. We ran here. Pew! You know what I'm saying? My man D Almighty's in the chat. Big up to D. And hey, yo, we got some special things to announce. Let's get into them real quick. First and foremost, if you've been following us on Twitter, okay, and I'm going to fix this in the actual stream as well, so it's there in the stream. Come on. Okay, when the stream lets me, when it cooperates. Okay, so here's the deal, people. Effective today, so we put me, TRS, Dark Griggity, we put all of our Canadian nickels together, okay? And we were able to get phone lines, all right? So now, for anybody that wants to call in live after 10 p.m., you got to give us some time to talk about these topics, to get the juices flowing, or anybody anytime before that or whenever after the show wants to leave a voicemail for the current show or following show, you can now connect with us via Skype at scrampunkcalls@hotmail.com. Scrampunkcalls@hotmail.com. I'm going to put it in the chat right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, but while we're doing that, and I'm tweeting this out and going through Facebook to everybody, let's talk about our gaming weeks. Let's start with Dirt. What's going on? What's your gaming week been like, Dirt?
Oh man, that Forza Horizon 4, man. You know what? I can't believe I actually spent $100 on this game, right? I rarely buy an Ultimate Edition, Special Edition. I rarely do that, right?
Okay.
But something about these Forza Horizon games, man, I said, you know what? I'm going to buy the DLC packs anyway. Might as well just get it now. And I haven't regretted it one bit. Game is phenomenal, man. So, yeah, I've been rocking that Forza Horizon 4. Still trying to finish the Spider-Man. I'll probably finish that up this weekend. For real this time.
That's what's up. Big up to Neverland's in the chat. Big up Neverland. Glad to see you, the world's greatest ad, man. You know, you've been on hiatus, man. How's school? I know you've been doing school and all that good stuff. That's what's
Neverland a damn pony, ain't he?
Yeah, oh yeah. Hey, man, hey, look, Griggity, after I said a couple of bad things about Phil Spencer, the Xbox occult dropped us, man. So it was just Neverland 6996 and my Uncle Pete that listened to the podcast. That was it, man. No, but big ups to everybody that's following us. Anything else in your gaming week, Dirt?
No, man. Those two games, of course, 2K, of course. Actually, I've been playing something with my homies, man. The Halo Master Chief Collection, man. We've been going, okay. We've been playing that, having a ball with that one, man. It's finally fixed, which it should be after 3 years. And, man, the game is still fun as ever, bro. And on the X, it looks pretty damn good on the X, too.
That's what's up.
And it's a Game Pass.
We're going to talk about another game that's going to look good on the X, according to information we've been given. But, yeah, man, I want to try that Master Chief. I'll talk about it, but I'm almost there. I'm almost allowed back on my box. I think I'm getting there, Dirt. That's what's up. All right. TRS. What's been going on, bro?
TRS, of course, predominantly Destiny. The new DLC is huge as hell, so I'm sure there's a lot of people better than me at the game who might have gone through it. I doubt it, but I mean, the game is huge. Other than that, it's been mostly, surprisingly, I'm doing a lot of cell phone games. I'm doing Knights and Dragons and Dungeons and Heroes, if anybody wants to try that. And this new game that came out that's pretty tight. It's called Era of Celestials. So, you know, on my security shift that I do, where I just sit down and count bricks, I can actually play, you know, those 3 games in between rounds. And they're pretty good. But other than that, I'm trying my best to get deep into Destiny, because everything where you want to achieve something is so, you have to be so high in level to get to it. It's just absolute farming ecstasy.
Oh, word. You said farming ecstasy.
Can that be real? Farming ecstasy. Some inbred shit.
Let me fix this a little bit. I got some crazy stuff going on here. But big ups to my man, the Bang House, man. So the Bang House says, MM2K. Let's go, MM2K. I warned you a while ago about CD Projekt Red needing their own IP. Now they're getting sued over something they didn't create, just like I said. Laugh out loud, shake my head. I hope they win, though. Hey, yo, we're going to talk about this, man. Look. Hey,
you didn't believe me.
Hey, man, we, you know, of course, the host Scram Punks, we got our own little DM, right? So I threw it in there about what's going on here. And I'm like, I tried to be like, what's his name? Oh man, what's the Monk? I was out there like Monk investigating, like look, dirt, look, TRS, this and that, and the Polish law. So we gonna get into that, man. I feel like Monk. But with that being said, big ups to Tristan Judas joining us too. Here's been my gaming week. Like I've alluded to earlier, I've actually played some more. I'm losing my train of thought. I actually played some more God of War. I played some God of War last night. Let me tell y'all about this goddamn God of War. Let me explain this to y'all, okay? Because this shit ain't fair. This is not fair.
You stream it.
Bro, you know what? See, you get what, my video capture card came in the mail, brother. So I'm gonna be streaming it tonight, man. Yeah, I'm gonna be streaming it. Well, probably not tonight. But I will be streaming this week. So big up to 6996. Be like, yo, MM2K, what's going on with the God of War streams? Now I got my capture card. I can have it looking crisp. I'm gonna start streaming it as early as tomorrow. You know what I mean? I might do something tonight. It all depends. But the thing about this God of War, it's tricky, okay? You think, you're like, you go down a cavern and you're like, oh, man, there's another area I can go. And you'll get lost going traveling somewhere, trying to go to a whole different area. You'll be banging it out with some enemies and all that other stuff. And then you finally get to a loot chest and it's a silver bar. And I'm like, dude, come on, man. Like, and it happens to me every single time. And I just keep getting caught in that trap. So what I got to learn to do is just finish the game. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to finish the game.
Yeah, just finish it, man.
I'm going to worry about that stuff later. You know, I think, Griggity, let me know if I'm right or if I'm wrong. It says, the part that I'm at, it says, the kid just said to me, hey, Dad, we're almost at the end. Am I close? Or are they just playing with my emotions?
Are they, shit.
He's like, man, I was like,
I played that game so long ago, man. Did you meet the stranger again?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Oh, so I'm not. Oh,
but no, you're not there. I didn't want to give you no spoilers or nothing, but
oh man, this is just beautiful. Okay, with that being said, let's get into these. Let's get into these illustrious topics, and I'll change the banner below because I know it's from last episode. But that
I can't help you, man. But if it was Bungie, I would have easily been able to say, yeah, you're like a fourth through. When you get to that part.
Yeah. I know that. Hey man, hey, look, man. I'm gonna be like a Haitian straight off the boat, man. No, no offense to my Haitian people. You know, I'm coming straight off. Hey man, help us, free us. And I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna start, man. As soon as I beat out of war, man, I'm gonna be free. Help us, free us. I'm gonna be playing everything. I haven't touched the Xbox since April, man. This is crazy. 706 Gamers. So what part you on? I'm on the part where the little kid's acting a little cocky. He just found out. He found out some information. I was.
Oh shit! That's the part you on right now?
Yeah, that's on there. He's getting a little cocky. He got a little cocky with the troll dude. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, "Yeah, Dad, we this and that." You know what I mean?
You got some ways to go, bro.
Told you, man.
Oh, dear Lord, Spencer, help me! Y'all love God of War. Give me a cheat code. They giving away God of War to 1 terabyte. Give me a cheat code, Mike. You borrowed.
Yeah. See, I kind of went straight through God of War, but it still took me, I'd say about 35 hours to beat it.
Damn.
It's not to sleep on, man. Not to sleep on.
Yeah.
Okay.
No doubt. No doubt. All right, so let's get into these topics, my friends. We got let's do some CD Projekt Red stuff if y'all don't mind. You know what I'm saying? CD Projekt Red, the illustrious development team. Okay, as you guys know, that I think all of us are fans of not only Bethesda's work, but CD Projekt Red.
Right.
Cyberpunk. Yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 looks like it's going to be that truth. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Witcher 3 is still my favorite game this gen.
I'm with you.
We'll see when I finish God of War. We'll see. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, you know, there's some stuff going on with them. First and foremost, let's talk this lawsuit. Or not? No, it's not a lawsuit. Let me put on my monk hat. I got to be 100% accurate here. So CD Projekt Red, the author of The Witcher, I forgot his name. It's from Poland. He had his legal team send CD Projekt Red a threatening letter. You know what I'm saying? Where he's telling CD Projekt Red, hey, basically, look, I get it. I signed over a lot of rights in a lot of ways to the Witcher project. I sold y'all a copyright license. I know we've already come up with terms of service instead of and sort of terms of compensation. However, nobody knew in their wildest imaginations, no one would ever imagine that a video game out of Poland would have been this successful. Y'all mother sold me some money. I want some more money. That's basically what the letter said.
Wow.
And I was doing my research, and under Polish law, it looks like that he might have a legitimate case. You know what I'm saying? There's some sections of the statute when it covers copyright law that says, yo, TRS, I know you told me, hey, and this is how the deal worked. The deal worked where CD Projekt Red approached my man and said, look, we love your story. We love your, you know, what you create. We would like to base a video game series around it. What we would like to do is give you X amount of money up front and give you X percentage of all the sales. My man said himself, he was like, video game? There's not going to be any profits. I want all my money up front now.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
They said, okay. You know, like what's that commercial? I need my money now. They wrote my man a check. They was like, you sure? Yeah, sure, now. And he took his check and went and bought a whole bunch of Polish strudels or whatever the hell he opined in, and that was it. Several years later, you know, of course, video game people have approached him and said, man, can you imagine how successful this game has been? Under the assumption that he's still getting paid off of this. And he let go the revelation. He's not getting paid. And he admitted it. He said, if this is all open for the public, he said, I thought that the game wouldn't do well. I thought these were just a bunch of crazy fanboys that just love my work. And I just wanted a big lump sum of money right then and there. They gave it to me, and look at him now. He's like, I'm so stupid. I did this. He admitted I did this. And I guess with everybody approaching him, with the fame around The Witcher, now it's going to be on Netflix and all this other stuff.
Right.
He's like, yo, nah. Some lawyers probably approached him, or maybe he was fishing and he found these stipulations in this Polish law to where, after I'm looking at him with my minimal legalese experience, it looks like he may have something. I want to get the panel's thoughts on this. We'll start with TRS. TRS.
Man, it sounds like gamer's child support. It's interesting, man, you know.
Like, spill it, tell the truth. Let's talk about it. What are your thoughts on that, man?
It seems like there should be some kind of, you know, ramification for this, some kind of compensation. You know, I'm not really familiar with the Polish laws. You know, I'm American. I don't really know how it works. But it seems like there's some compensation there, but I think a little too much is being asked for.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure. but it seems like a little too much. Can we have a medium? I think a medium is needed for that.
And then before you chomp in, Dirt, the compensation. He's in the letter. He asked for $16 million.
Yeah. Okay. Let's have a drink. Come on, come with me to the bar.
Yeah, come. But bring your lamp, your lamp post. Yeah,
no, these aren't roofies, man. These are M&Ms, man.
So Dirt, what are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts on this?
Well, so this guy, he pretty much wrote the whole story, like the whole world of The Witcher. This is his creation.
Absolutely.
That's what I wanted to know. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. If you guys remember, didn't something similar to this happen years ago with Stan Lee? Because I mean, it might have been years now, but I remember when the whole Marvel thing started to take off with the original, like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. And I vividly remember Stan Lee being on Howard Stern's show talking about that. And Howard Stern was kind of like, hey, man, so what are you getting for all of this stuff? You created all of these characters. They're making so much money off of it. And Stan Lee was kind of like, yeah, I'm getting a little something. And eventually he wound up suing Marvel. Now, I'm not quite sure exactly what happened, but something similar happened. Now, my opinion about this, like TRS said, I don't know the Polish laws and everything, but did he sign some papers stating that he just wanted his lump sum and that's it? Or is there something in the details where he's eligible to get something more because this game is a big success? And they're doing movies now and got other revenues. Other ways to earn revenue coming in. I mean, like, what is it?
That was a good analogy because it does seem like that's exactly what's happening when you used Stan Lee, for example. Yeah. It seems from the way it sounds, it's like I got you when you were eager and hungry, and I took advantage of that. And now that it's blowing up, you know, you want to get your, just deserves, but. I'm business, man. I'm a step down from Satan. I mean, I'm trying to work with you, man. But I really don't want you to exist anymore. Yeah, So it seems like that they got him when he was fresh and hungry, and now he's just trying to get his just deserves.
Yeah, I mean, so they'll probably wind up settling out of court for something, Probably, right?
Yeah. I mean, hopefully, because. I don't know, man. It's not looking good. When I first heard about this, I said to myself, "There's no way in hell. There's no way that you can get away with this." But what we got to remember, these are international companies. These are not companies based in the U.S. Companies in the U.S. are basically they're capitalistic. So it's like, ha, I got you, sucker. They'll roll like that 24/7 to where these Polish companies, or not just Polish, but, a lot of the international companies, it's like, oh no, you might have additional rights, and the problem for me, looking at things as I do from a business side, it's like, where do agreements stand? What's the purpose of an agreement? If this guy, now I can understand if they said, you know what, we're only going to sell like maybe a couple. If they told this guy, well, from our projections, we might only sell 10 copies. You're not going to get a whole bunch of money. Here goes $35. Would you take that? And he's like, yeah, that'd be different. But from what I understand, they sold it to him like, hey, man, we got big aspirations. We don't know what this can do, but whatever it does, we'll give you a portion of every copy sold. And he just flat out said, no, it's not worth it. I want my money up front. So he gets a lump sum of money up front, taking that risk.
Right.
And he's still getting like, what's the purpose of agreements? How can CD the business hold firm and operate? You know what I'm saying? I understand they got a bunch of money now, but how can you future-proof your company, right? If you don't know where you stand, if people that you have licenses with can just change the terms at will. You know what I'm saying? That's my thought.
Now, you know what? I agree with you, because if we have an agreement, no matter what happens afterwards, we have this agreement, so yeah, I mean, you're right about that. You're absolutely right about that.
That's where the attorneys come in. So maybe he didn't have backing when he started.
Exactly. Yeah, and he didn't. I mean, they approached him. Basically, he's wasn't a video game guy, and he just he just
he wasn't a gamer type.
No, he would. No, the author has nothing to do with games whatsoever.
Oh, okay.
So he just went with the flow, and he said, yeah, y'all ain't we're not gonna go for this. So let me see here. I'm gonna try. And Nethals and 706 Gamer wants to come in. I got like this crazy jerry rig setup. So give me a few moments. I don't want to blow the setup. Let me see if I can get you guys in there in a little bit. With that said, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that there's this prospect, because the guy literally said, let me go to our DM where I turned into monk. Let me see if I can find that article where the guy literally said, see. Oh, here it goes right here. It says, don't look. Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. Okay. He says, I was stupid enough, and this is in an interview the author had with Rock, Paper, Shotgun. He said, I was stupid enough to sell them the rights to the whole bunch. So that's very important. So remember that. I was stupid enough to sell them the rights to the whole bunch. They offered me a percentage of their profits. I said, no, there will be no profit at all. Give me all my money right now. So I wasn't paraphrasing. This motherfucker sound like that US that commercial. Give me my money up front right now. The whole amount. It was stupid. I was stupid enough to leave everything in their hands because I didn't believe in their success. But who could foresee their success? I couldn't. You know what I'm saying? So, but
at that case, now that I see it from that perspective, it's kind of like too late. Right. It's like you sold me a watch, and I don't know. I bought the watch. It's done. The contract is done. I got the watch. You got my money. I can't say, it broke the following year. Give me my money back. Nah, you made that move.
Hey, man, it's like those. You hear those like stories about prenuptial agreements, and like they'll signed it and everything is good, but something happened where the man will all of a sudden, get a better job or get some
right.
Don't want to renegotiate. Hold on now. He wasn't making this before. Nah, bitch.
Doesn't it sound like something a harpy would do? That's why I said it sounds like, gamer's child support or something.
Right. Exactly. Nope. Absolutely.
See, I mean, if that's the case, but you know how many things in my life I would have wished I could have done that with?
Yeah. I didn't say harpy. I meant queen.
Yeah, queen.
That's what I meant.
So, yeah, I mean, that's very disappointing to hear them get into that. I was very disappointed in the fact that holy cow, Polish law actually allows that. Again, here in the States, that wouldn't fly. I mean, he would be dead. They'd be dead at the door, Right. But unfortunately, Polish law, and their copyright law was just drafted in 94. So I don't know, man. They still got some work to do, bro, as far as I'm concerned. Because, again, as a business, I don't see where that's fair to CD Projekt Red. Now, the homie Banghouse says, which is a very good point. He says you future-proof yourself by making your own IPs. CD Projekt Red needs to have their own work. Yeah, I can't argue with that, bro.
That's true.
I can't argue with that. Yeah. So let me do this. All right, I'm gonna take a big risk, y'all. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna send this link to them. This is standing on leg. I mean, this is standing on a whim here because I got all this stuff set up. This is my first time doing it. But let me send this link to them. All right, there we go. All right, it's in there, y'all. It's in there. I jerry rigged this thing beyond belief.
Who in the hell is Jerry?
Yeah, who's Jerry? I hope he's not from Poland. But with that being said, no. Hold on 1 second. You sure? Hold on 1 second. Okay, next subject matter. I'm sorry, I'm multitasking. Next subject matter, my friends. Let's talk about CD Projekt Red again, right? And the fact that they said in an interview that Warner Brothers is going to be there with Gimatsu, I think it was, that Warner Brothers is going to be the group that distributes CD, is going to distribute Cyberpunk 2077. So a lot of people were wondering if they were going to go fully independent or who they were going to pick. Who did everybody speculate was going to do this for some crazy reason or something? Oh, people were thinking it was even rumored Microsoft might be the publisher. I mean, it was a bunch of crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? But they squashed those hopes and they said,
right. They did The Witcher 3 also, right? Because they did The Witcher 3 also,
exactly.
Right?
You know, I mean, with the success that they had with Witcher 3, you know,
right? They don't want to let that go.
Exactly. So, you know, I mean, any thoughts on that? I mean, you know, Warner Brothers. Here's my thoughts on. But no, I'm gonna let y'all chomp at it, and then y'all let me know what y'all think about Warner Brothers. Hello.
Yeah,
I'm here.
Yes? Oh, my bad. I'm sitting there multitasking. I'm another DM too. What are y'all thoughts on Warner Brothers taking over? Any big thoughts on that at all? Like, you know, is it a good thing, bad thing? I mean, it's the same group that did Witcher 3. Any?
I think it's a damn good thing for them because, you know, listen, there's already a lot of buzz about this game, positive buzz, and I think it would be perfect, you know, for them to publish this game just like they did The Witcher 3. I mean, like Warner Brothers, they have some pretty good franchises that they're publishing, right? Like don't they do the Mortal Kombat franchise and also Injustice? You know, like there's some other games they publish. So yeah, definitely, man. I don't know why they wouldn't. I guarantee if it was open like a free agent, say if like Cyberpunk 2077 was a free agent, there will be every damn company in this industry would try to publish that game. You know? So damn right. That's a good thing for Warner Brothers.
Yeah, Warner Brothers is the group. They did Batman. What else did
they also did Batman, yeah. Mortal Kombat, Injustice. It's something else too.
You know what I'm thinking? You know, for some reason, even though I had a renewed faith in the Warner Brothers, for a while I was upset at Warner Brothers because they're a newer publisher, and they took over one of my favorite series from last gen, which was Fear. I don't know if you guys remember Fear.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Fear.
Oh, yeah.
Man. Fear was one of my favorite franchises on PC and on the 360. I love the fact that they brought it to 360, one of the smartest things that could have been done. And Warner Brothers took over Fear 2 and 3, and those were dog shit.
I played 1, and 1 was like a precursor to what could have been like a series of God games, but I never played the other ones. But I love the first one.
2 was doo-doo poop, and
doo-doo poop,
man. It's like shit that shits on itself. It was horrible.
It sounds like a rapper from Atlanta or something.
What's up,
Shawty?
It was up,
Shawty. Doo-doo poop.
Doo-doo poop, Shawty.
Damn out, Warner Brothers voted.
Voted. Oh, and that's New Orleans voting, man. That's New Orleans.
Right?
You heard me?
Yeah, you heard me. That's traveling up north. We got up north, Canada. You heard me?
You heard me?
More Willie D. They don't know about Willie D. They don't know where that came from.
Oh, man. That's Houston, right?
Yeah, Houston, man.
Houston.
Willie D think he the black Walter Cronkite now, man.
Yeah,
Willie D be cracking me up, man. I love Willie D, man. He's a funny dude. But back to gaming. Yeah, so after they destroyed that series, I had a sour taste in my mouth about them. However, Batman is a good game. It looks like Warner Brothers. They don't have a bunch of stuff going on, right? They're doing Injustice, right? They're doing it.
Yeah.
They are
Injustice.
So
and whatever their next game is, like what's it called, like Another Realms, whatever their next game is, which is Mortal Kombat, I believe.
Gotcha.
Like so, they don't have a lot, but they have quality. You know, they don't have a lot, but they have great quality.
That's right. The Ghetto Boys Bang House. That's right. You're telling your age, bro, unless you've been doing your research. Yeah. Yeah, so it's a good thing, and I'm excited. I talked about this again. I'm gonna slide this in there again, even though we're talking about CD Projekt Red. Anthem. We talked about Anthem a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Anthem was a game that, for all intents and purposes, was considered that God game until there was like some unease at BioWare and all these negative articles came out. So now my faith in Anthem is kind of like, even though there was an article recently on Anthem where a demo was coming. You know what I'm saying? And
okay.
Then, they talked to a major video game reporting outlet, Gamertag Radio. Big ups to them. Spoke to my man Paris, and somebody from BioWare told Paris, "Say, look, there's a reason why we're being quiet. You know, we got some big surprises, so stay tuned." I still don't trust it, but Paris said he trusts it. With that being said, I still don't have faith in Anthem. I had to find my next God game. I think this is it. So that's a segue into our next article about CD Projekt Red before we move on. But before we do that, hold on. My man 706 Gamer, what's going on, Noah? What's up, bro?
What's up, bro? What's up?
Hey.
Sorry about that confusion, man. I got this thing jerry-rigged. I got a lot of stuff, got a lot of twisty ties holding stuff up. So, I didn't want things to fall apart, but I think we're good. So we're going to get into let's get your thoughts, Noah. What are your thoughts on CD Projekt Red's potential, the legal threat that they received, and to the fact that Warner Brothers is going to be the publisher of Cyberpunk 2077.
Wait, so hold on. So CD Projekt Red is getting sued by.
Well, they got a legal letter of intent, possible intent, as we would call it in the States, from the lawyer of the Witcher, the author of The Witcher, his lawyers. Yeah, they sent CD Projekt Red a letter. They said, "Look,
wow, okay,
I know we struck a deal. I know I told you I wanted everything up front. I've admitted it to different news outlets, but by Polish law, y'all still owe me some bread." And Polish law, it looks like it's like that from what I could interpret. Like, you can have a standing agreement, you can agree to the terms, but it's considered the author of that submitted the license of the copyright. Has I forgot the term, the legal term, but a right of retriment, I think it's called, where he can go back and say, "Oh, I didn't know this was going to do that well, so give me some more money." You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah, well, I got another question. Did the contract initiate in Poland, or did it initiate here in the States?
Poland.
Hey man,
because the CD Projekt Red is Polish. Everything's in Poland.
You gotta live by the law of the land, man.
Yeah, exactly, man. Crazy, man. Crazy.
No, I don't like it,
Mm-hmm. But it is what it is.
Pretty sure Projekt Red don't like it, but hey, I mean, they're rich. That's small things to a giant,
They want 60 million though, bro. What you think about that? He wants 16 million.
Is that, according to the laws, is that what he's entitled to?
Well, what it looks like his lawyers based that 60 million off of is CD Projekt Red approached him and said, "We're going to give you X percentage of what we are to make off of each sale." He said, "No, give me a lump sum." The law says that when you do a copyright agreement, the standard, you should work towards the standard of 5 to 8%. That's what Polish law says. So it looks like that he went by the highest percentage, which is 8%, subtracted the lump sum, and says and estimates that he's owed $16 million.
They need to go by the lowest percent, which is 5. Subtract the lump sum, and then that copyright law needs to be reviewed.
Exactly, I totally agree. But we'll see what they do, man. We'll definitely see what they do. And what do you think about CD Projekt Red going with Warner Brothers to publish Cyberpunk 2077?
Warner Brothers is a great publisher. They're great. They're a great company.
Oh, yeah.
So if I had to pick a company to back my project, I would be happy with Warner Brothers.
Yeah. I don't think I don't think they went wrong with that. I definitely don't think they went wrong with that. All right, so let's move on. Last thing, and this is going to segue into another topic that kind of grinded my gears. Was okay. So first, CD Projekt Red, for the last article about them is they said to the gaming world, you know what? We think that political, now bear with me. We think that political issues help make a game better. And what they say is we're going to show the world how you integrate a political issue into a game. Now, hear me out. Because when I first saw that, I said, I almost threw my phone in the toilet. I was like, come on, man, don't do this, CD Projekt Red. Come on, man. The anthem's already going to shit. Don't do this. But they said that when they think of political issues, they're more in the lines of like morality, like BioShock did. You know, where BioShock, when you got the child, you could either save the child or you could extract the ether or whatever it was from the child and kill it. You know what I'm saying? They're like stuff like that where they're not saying vote for Trump or hate Trump.
Are you
they're
Democrat
just saying,
or Republican?
Yeah. They're not heavy-handed on any side. They're just putting the political thing out there to make it interesting, and they're allowing you to make your own choice on which way you want to go. After reading that part of it, I thought it was interesting, and here's why I think it was interesting. I'll get you guys' thoughts on it. I thought it was interesting because for this show, I don't like to get political. I have my own weird, crazy political views. I don't trust nobody, tinfoil hat, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But y'all don't listen to MM2K for his political views. But, there's some things that are happening out there in the world that are interesting. And if you integrate them into a video game and give people the choice to do what they want to do, kind of like how a BioShock is, you know what I'm saying? I think it would be interesting. So I want to get the panel's thoughts on that. Is CD Projekt Red on to something like, because you got a lot of people that are complaining about, quote unquote, the SJWs. You know what I'm saying? People are human. And when they work on stuff, they want to put their own political views into stuff. And what CD Projekt Red, what it sounds like to me is they're saying is there's a way you can still scratch that itch, but without falling on either side. I want to get you guys' thoughts on that, starting with Griggett.
Well, I don't really have much of an opinion about this, but controversy creates cash. I don't really, I don't have much of an opinion about this. If that's how they feel, that's how they feel. If they, there's been some like political things in games recently. You think about Detroit, Become Human. They kind of had a Android was kind of like African Americans in America kind of thing going. You know what I'm saying? With politics, it's a bunch of crazy stuff going on right now. But me personally, I don't have much of an opinion about this. So I just listen to what you guys got to say. Okay. Pretty much.
Cool. All right, what's your thoughts on this, Noah?
Man, I feel like video games is an art. Like the developers are the artists. So if they want to, I don't like putting a ceiling or a restriction on any type of artist. This is like I feel like with today's society with the internet, we already give too much input to developers anyway. I mean, it's good that they accept the input, but at the same time, this is supposed to be your vision. So I like the fact that if this is what Cyber Project wants to do with the game, I love it. Yeah.
No, I think I'm gonna let TRS go. TRS get them.
I actually like the option. I mean, it seems more like it's based on morality more so than politics. But either way it goes, I like it because this isn't something new for me. I mean, back during the time when Hideo was sober, he used a lot of political things in Metal Gear, and stuff like that. True. And there was also some stuff in Deus Ex and games with options. I like the options because I like to play around with the game and see different options, play it, see it helps with the replay value too. But as long as it's not, political to the point where it's like, do you want the extra power to beat the boss, then get into this chamber and become transgender? Other than that, I'm with it. I like options. It's replay value.
I got you. Big ups to the transgender viewers. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to RuPaul.
Shout out. Here's the thing, man. And Mr. Righteous Fish, he says, I'm okay with politics in games. Traditional art can be very political. So I just let the artist work, and I don't like it, then I don't do it. I don't get into it. That's games.
If done right, it's a fire ass art form.
Exactly.
I've seen it done before. If done right, it's fire.
Yep.
So
now the Bang House, in contrast to that, says CD Projekt Red is going the Rockstar route with political undertones. It's smart. Okay. Here's my thoughts on it. Things are more polarizing now than they've ever been. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're either with one camp or the other, and there's not even any in between anymore. With that being said, as a gamer, I think it's refreshing because I'm not one of these people that go to video games and I'm looking like, do you agree with me? When I went into the voting booth, did this player press the same button I would have pressed in the voting booth? No, I don't do that. My purpose of playing a game is to immerse myself in a reality that's different from mine. You know what I'm saying? So I don't mind playing somebody that thinks differently from me. Right. Video games are imaginary to me. You know what I'm saying? But they allow me to immerse myself in an imaginative possibility. Like growing up as a kid, I'm playing with He-Man. I'm not a 35-year-old muscle-bound white guy with a sword and a cat that talks. But half naked. Half naked. You know what I'm saying? with a ghost called Orko. Come on. But I don't care how Orko votes. I'm in this world. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's that same imagination. But, as we get older and get more mature, then I'm looking into. So, yeah, if they want to put political this and political that into it, that's fine. I think the problem becomes the actual gamers themselves when they go ballistic over this shit. That's when it goes sour. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, if you don't like what's being said, then don't buy it. If it irks you that much, I was never like. I'm gonna speak to both sides of the political coin. Whether you like Keith Olbermann or whether you like Bill O'Reilly, I was never the type to say Keith Olbermann should be shut down or Bill O'Reilly should be shut down.
Right.
You don't like Keith Olbermann or Bill O'Reilly, don't tune in. You know what I'm saying? Like people with these staunch political views think that by yelling and shouting down the other side that they can make them go away. They will never go away. There will always be people that disagree with you. Get over it. Just don't buy into it. That's it. That's my thoughts. And I have my own political views, but they are what they are. But that said, anybody else got any thoughts on that before we move on?
No.
My man, Mr. Righteous Fish, also said a lot of people get political about games. Weirdo gamers got upset about Battlefield 5. Yeah, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit into this next topic. Okay, so bear with me. Good point, Mr. Righteous Fish. I'm glad you're kicking it with us again. All right.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Your boy is back, as you can see in the title. Your boy, Dean Takahashi, is back. Now, for those of you that don't know who Dean Takahashi is, Dean Takahashi is a game writer for Forbes, I think it is. And he's infamous for playing Cuphead last year before.
That guy.
Before it released, he played Cuphead. And when he played Cuphead, he's the guy that couldn't get past the tutorial. All right. It caused a lot of furor because in an article that he wrote, he talked about how hard the game was. It was crushingly hard. It was like the way he talked about it, it was like, this game is just too freaking hard, right now. And he didn't rate it. He was just talking about the levels that he played. And I think a couple of things happened. A lot of people got upset. They got upset for a couple of reasons. They got upset first and foremost, for three reasons. They got upset because let's be honest. Before I get to it, first and foremost, they got upset because they're looking at it as there's a game reviewer here. This guy's on Metacritic. His reviews equal a score on Metacritic. And he also had problems playing the original Mass Effect. And he was like, he gave it a low score, like a 3 out of 10 or something like that. Come to find out, he gave it such a low score because he forgot to power up his person. So as the person got experience points and he got further into the game, he forgot to. He didn't realize that you had to power the person up using their experience points, and he said this game is too hard, and he gave it like a 3 out of 10 or something like that. He ended up fixing it later after he got embarrassed, but it was that. So you got people that were upset because this is a game reviewer that appears not to know the basic fundamentals of certain complex games. And they were concerned that when he officially reviews this game, he's going to give it a bad score due to his lack of ability to play games. That was problem number one. Problem number two was, let's be honest, this was an Xbox game at the time, and I was part of the battle. We were pushing back hard on all the Xbox hate. A lot of Xbox people were like, the people were hating on Cuphead. They were like, oh, Cuphead is going to do horrible. What the hell is it being an Xbox exclusive for? Oh, the dumbass Phil. I mean, they were just going ballistic. They were mad, and then they turned around and said, Cuphead is stupid. It's going to be dumb. It's going to be dumb. Wanting it to fail. And then finally, when you had reviewers saying that the game was like super hard and all this other stuff, they're like, there, see, look. But he also felt the furor from the Xbox brass that didn't like the tone of his initial thoughts of the game. And last but not least, to segue into what we were just talking about, you had the quote unquote anti-SJW crowd, the anti-social justice warrior crowd. Now, I get where they were coming from because there were a lot of people, including myself, who criticized Dean for reason number one. He's a reviewer. His review is on Metacritic. He's really not like a hardcore gamer, but he's playing a hardcore game. And it sounds like he's going down the path of what he did with Mass Effect, giving a hardcore game a bad score just because of his lack of knowledge of the game. I started to criticize him, and I got called a racist on Twitter. Like, people started attacking me. It was a big thing. You know what I'm saying? Well, to me, it was a big thing. But
you are a racist.
No, I am a racist, you know. I hate the back and forth Whitaker's name. You know what I'm saying? So people were, and I get it. There's a lot of the anti-social justice warrior. I've been listening to some of the videos, recently trying to refresh myself on this. Well, the reason why this is coming back is because Dean Takahashi did an interview with Gamertag Radio. In that interview, he kind of had a little bit of a revisionist history where he said people were being mean to me because I said the game was hard. But the game was hard, so people apologized to me later. It was more complicated than that. For those of you that remember that whole thing, I want to get your thoughts on it. Like, do you think that the whole Dean Takahashi thing was overblown? And also, what do you feel about people that are reviewing games that are all included in a Metacritic score that don't know that much about games as far as playing? What are your thoughts on that? We'll start with Noah.
Oh, my bad, man. I was distracted. I had.
Yeah, that's all right.
Hey, I'm over here being nosy, man. What was the question again?
Oh, the question was, okay, did you hear what I said about Dean Takahashi? You remember him? That's the guy that was playing Cuphead.
Yeah,
he couldn't get past
the video games.
Yep. So he's back. He did an interview with Gamertag Radio recently, and he had like revisionist history on what happened. He tried to make it seem like it was just simply that because he said the game was hard, people were upset.
Yeah.
And then they looked at the video, and then they found out the game was hard, and then they apologized to him. And I broke it down. It really was three fronts. It was the fact that he's a reviewer, and he's done this in the past with games like the original Mass Effect, where he just don't. If it's not super simplified, he doesn't seem to understand it. Secondly, there was the Xbox people that were just mad because he was ragging on an Xbox game. And thirdly, there was the anti-social justice warriors, the people mad about Battlefield 5 and all that stuff that just like the fact.
I remember the clip. This man couldn't get past the tutorial.
Yeah, he couldn't get past the tutorial.
Nothing hard about the tutorial. Nothing hard about
nothing hard about
all the other stuff is irrelevant when you can't pass the part of the game that teaches you how to play the game.
Just play the game, not beat it, just play it.
Right, just play the game, right? He couldn't. Nah, he needs to find employment elsewhere.
I agree. Hey, I agree, Noah. The tutorial, bro. It wasn't late in the game. The tutorial, nah, man.
Even like the Cuphead, the first 3 bosses are like simple. I mean, it took me a couple tries, but you catch on real quick. Okay, duck, jump. Now some of the later bosses, you have to have your short-term memory has to be on point in order to beat those bosses. But he couldn't get past the tutorial. It told him to jump and dash and jump over an obstacle. Like if you play Mario, you should have been able to do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was that simple. He don't have an excuse.
What are your thoughts though on everybody? And we can start with TRS on that. What are your thoughts on the other 2 elements? The Xbox people being mad, what he said about the game, and more particularly the anti-social justice warriors, the people that are mad at Battlefield 5 because there was a representation of females on the front lines and stuff like that. And you'll hear from them. No,
Wait.
Go ahead, bro.
Wait. Did you say that they were upset because of the females? They had females on the front line.
Yeah, they had females on the front line, so that just started a whole fury.
Okay, liberal America. No offense to you guys, but make up your goddamn mind. Do you want the positions or don't you? Do you want to be treated like there's inequality here or don't you? Well, make up your mind. It's like, wow.
Well, no, the problem, you're close, but it wasn't the liberals. It was the anti-liberals that said, "What are women doing on the front lines here? This is not historically accurate."
So it was the hard chauvinists.
Yeah, the hard chauvinists.
Hey, let me interject real fast. Didn't Call of Duty World War II have female characters you could play with in the multiplayer mode?
Yeah.
Yep.
But those people said some stuff about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, get out of here. It's a video game, man.
Nobody had a problem when them female characters was kicking my ass in Metal Gear. Nobody complained about that.
It's not history class. I mean, Kratos is not even in Greek mythology. So I'm saying, like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
This is stupid stuff, man. Stupid. Everybody wants to be offended about something.
Yeah.
Right.
The thing that gets me real quick is that, again, not trying to get political. My issue is the anti-SJWs. This is my issue with you guys.
Now, what is the SJW?
The SJW is short for social justice.
Is that Public Enemy?
Yeah, that's what I said in a debate with
the SJWs.
Not to be confused with the S1Ws. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
here's my problem.
I got excited
with that crowd is that they make it seem like that they're there just to expose people that have political agendas. You're only there to expose political agendas that you don't agree with.
Exactly.
So you're a social justice warrior too, just on the opposite side. That's all. You know what I'm saying? I heard a video today where the guy, it was laden with motherfucker, Dean Takahashi, motherfucker. I mean, that's all it was. And it was like the guy said, "I'm not a racist because I don't like Dean Takahashi," which is true, because I was considered a racist. But then he started talking about different political groups that cater to his political views, and he was nice. That's when the motherfucker stopped, and he sounded like Mr. Rogers. He was all nice and sweet. And I'm thinking to myself, you're a social justice warrior too, because you're trying to fight for the social things that you believe in. So one group calling another group of social justice warriors is a farce. Here's the thing. I get it. Across the spectrum, let's not just off the bat call somebody a racist or whatever, just because they don't agree with somebody that's of a different creed. You know what I mean? I'm African American. Dean Takahashi, is of Japanese descent. That had nothing to do with why I thought it was dumb as fuck for him to not be able to jump over a block in a tutorial, and also him not realizing that you have to upgrade your character in Mass Effect, and why I questioned his integrity as far as being a Metacritic contributing reviewer. If he wants to review shit in the Good Morning American paper, fine. But the simple fact that he is part of Metacritic, and Metacritic determines if developers get paid or not, but based upon bonuses, it's crazy to me. And that's why I challenged it. You know what I'm saying? So I get that point of it. But I think we need to stop with this, your side is a social justice system. My side isn't. Anybody that wants to favor a political view, it's all social justice. Xbox people, I get why you guys were upset about his review because you know what I'm saying. It was raining on your parade before the game was released. But I think ultimately the biggest thing out of this, like the panel has expressed, and I just want to get your thoughts on it, but we all are in agreement that the biggest problem was the fact that this guy is a reviewer. His reviews contribute to Metacritic. And if you can't get past the tutorial, you cannot be taken seriously on that round.
Can I ask you guys a question? Mm-hmm. Ask all you guys a question. Is this a continuing trend? Is this like a normal thing where you've got people that can determine the fate of a game who really don't play at all? Okay. I mean, is this normal for the game testers? Because if you watch commercials and stuff, they have commercials for, oh, are you a badass gamer? Oh, you could be a game tester, blah, 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 blah. And then something like this is taking place where he has really no game experience. But
hey, there's some validity in that because I was on that note, I was planning to go see the movie Venom.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And all these horrible reviews came out today. They lost the sale. They lost 2 sales.
Exactly.
So I'm going to wait till it hits the red box and watch it on Blu-ray. But these reviews, they hold a lot of weight.
Absolutely, they do. Absolutely, they do.
What's your full thoughts on that, Griggity?
Yeah. I mean, I'm like what Noah said. First off, the guy couldn't pass the tutorial level, and for his guy to be a reviewer, and his review count towards a Metacritic score is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, can you just imagine any other way in life that a person, just say a person was like reviewing like a rib restaurant or something, but they don't eat meat. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy, man. You can't really. No, it's terrible, man.
And I want to like Mr. Righteous Fish in the chat. He said that's a hard when people who review art don't necessarily know how to paint. I mean, I agree with you there, but paint is not really an engaging activity. You don't have to.
Right.
You look at paint. It's a passive type of activity. Playing the game is engaging. You're actively playing the game. So to give your experience or opinion on a game and you're not really good at games,
right.
There's really nobody really wants to hear what you have to say if you're not
right. See, like you said, the whole art thing is like there's guys that watch sports. There are sports casters that necessarily never play sports at the professional level, but they've watched enough, and they know the game enough to be able to give a valid opinion. Mm-hmm. But if you're talking about gaming, something that you literally have to control yourself,
right?
And you can't do that. That's a problem.
Absolutely, totally agree. I mean, again, we for those. I mean, me and TRS are the biggest Bethesda fanboys out there. TRS like Fallout Vegas. I didn't care for it that much because there was a glitch that messed up my whole save. So, but I'm shallow like that. All right. With that being said, when Obsidian worked on that game, they were 1 point off getting a bonus from Bethesda because of Metacritic.
Oh wow!
That could have been from Dean Takahashi for all we know. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, yeah.
And it probably wasn't, but I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Like, Randolph Thor, the homie, and we had a big show last week with Randolph Thor. And big ups. I thank him for coming. With that being said, Randolph Thor brought up a very good point in a video. He did a video about this when this all happened. And he said that video game journalists now seem more and more by the day to lose gaming cred because what's looked for now is not your experience in gaming, but you just got to be a good writer. That's it. Right. And he says this is shown more when he gets early reviews of games. Like he says, when he gets early reviews of games like Call of Duty or whatever, and it's just him, maybe some Xbox executives, and mainly other journalists. He says, man, his kill to death ratio is like 51-2. He said he's on top of the world. He's like killing it like no other until the actual gamers come. And he said these guys more than not suck at gaming. You know what I mean? Because they're just good orators. They're not hardcore or even core gamers. They just have opinions that they can write well and make read well. And that's a problem for the industry because, again, now you have people's paychecks and their livelihoods, that are based upon that.
And is that really the case that they suck at the games or just never establish the experience? Because you can actually, if I give you a week, you'll get past Cuphead's tutorial. So how much time are they really focusing on these games before they do the review? Is it so much that they just suck at damn near everything, or is just that they're not playing to learn it or master it yet? And by the time they get a decent idea of it, then they give the review. But by that time, like with him, you haven't even gotten past the tutorial. So what? I don't know what the focus is on this because anybody can get past the tutorial in a week. So how long did it take? Did you take it that one day and just play it for a couple hours and say suck? What did you do next?
And before I answer this question, as a reminder, for anybody watching, spread the news, retweet this, all that good stuff. In addition to that, if you want to call in, it's via Skype. You can call into scrampunkscalls@hotmail.com. Call in, whatever you want to talk about gaming related, we can do that. Leave a voicemail after the show or before the show, whatever the case may be. But the phone lines are open. All right. With that being said, TRS brought up an excellent point. In this interview that Dean Takahashi had with Gamertag Radio, he actually stated that because he was asked, he said, Danny from Gamertag Radio asked him, what's going on? He's like, a lot of journalists now seem like they're burnt out. They're tired. They're not enthusiastic. There was that situation at IGN where the guy was copying a YouTuber's review. You know what I'm saying? And it was just all this crazy stuff going on. And Dean basically said, a lot of people play a lot of games that they're not good at and they don't like, and they got to review them, and they're getting burned out on it. They don't have that enthusiasm like you and I do. Griggity, TRS, Noah, you know what I'm saying? Where we would love to play through a whole bunch of games, if the opportunity presents itself. If I had a job as a game reviewer, I would be in love. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man. There's a lot of trash games that you have to make yourself play through. Like I don't know, man. I have a very short attention span, so
not just that.
Like it could be torture.
Yeah, you ever look at the game? You ever look at the Xbox exclusive things that they offer on discount when you go on the main screen? Some of the garbage that's on there, you have to test each and every one of those, I believe. Yeah, and that would hurt.
Man,
that would hurt.
Not just that. It's like sometimes those guys have like time, like restrictions where they have to, like review a game, within 4 or 5 days. So you got to kind of rush through the game. And me personally, I like to take my time, with my games.
Right.
Yeah, that's not something I would be crazy about necessarily.
That's another thing to consider too. Are they taking the time? There's some games I didn't like in the beginning. Vegas is one of them. In the beginning, I did not particularly care for it. I thought it was an insult to Fallout 3. But as I got further in it, it starts to pick up a bit, and I actually enjoyed it. So, does he take that kind of time? I doubt it seriously.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Because listen, Spider-Man start off to me okay. But I'm like in the middle of the game now, and it's really picking up.
Right.
It's really picking up. Like, okay, story is getting.
I can say that too. Like, I mean, everybody's seen the trailer without spoiling too much. Once you see Miles in the game,
yep, exactly. That's when that shit start picking up, man.
Okay.
Oh, Miles Morales, the other Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
The real
I didn't know he was in that.
Speaking of lawsuits, I'm gonna have my lawyer send something to this guy's residence. The real Maslin says, Most, you only play games on ColecoVision. Look, I told you. I'm tired of your shit.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Big ups to the brother, real Maslin. Hey, Mas, I put the if you want to join us, I put the link in the DM if you want to join us.
I'm at ColecoVision, man.
Oh man, hey shit. Good times. Yeah, those was good times, man. It was JJ Walker, man. Shit. Dean Takahashi. The crazy thing about it too, And I urge everybody to listen to Gamer Tag Radio. It's a fantastic podcast. I love the podcast. I listen to it regularly. D Takahashi brought up a good point that he is a business guy. And he can, and I can relate to that. He's a business guy, and he doesn't touch a lot of games, and that's fine. You know, if you want to talk about the business side, which I can respect, then great, go ahead and do that. Talk about the business side, and leave it at that. But with that being said, don't, you know, if Metacritic comes to you and says, "Look, man, let's you know, we're going to put you on a score," understand the responsibility and the weight behind that. And just do a Mr. Yuck, stay away, do not touch. Just be like, you know what? I appreciate it, Metacritic. I know I can pat my back off of that, but no, I'm gonna stay away from that. That's too much for me. I'm not built for that. You know what I'm saying?
It's not fair, man. What's the difference between that and me telling the CEO of the company I work for to judge freestyle battles?
Yeah.
What's the difference, man? What? Come on, man.
I don't know. I mean, but again, I'm telling them well, no, it wasn't too long ago. GameSpot, I'm sorry. Not too long ago, had a controversy between, remember Kane and Lynch? Remember the game Kane and Lynch? They had controversy because somehow they were paid to give a good review of it and stuff like that. And I remember earlier years with Game Informer, I never was a fan of that magazine, but whatever. Game Informer, they had issues because they would have articles and advertisements for games. I remember Far Cry was a Far Cry, not Far Cry Primal, but Far Cry something. And it was a big controversy because the article looked like a review, but it was actually an advertisement. You know what I'm saying? They got paid for it, and somewhere along they didn't have it in a fine print or something like that. So these journalists can't be trusted. Then we saw recently where the guy famously for IGN stole a YouTuber's review.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, and it was a big crazy thing. Then he had the nerve to be a dick about it, not apologize, but say, "I can understand why you guys are mad. You're just confused, though." You know what I'm saying? And it was a big mess. So with that being said, you can't trust a lot of these reviewers because they don't stay in their lane. They don't stay in their lane, and it's up to us to check them. And that's why I think YouTube is growing in popularity more, and it should. You know what I'm saying? Because we're keeping everybody honest.
Yeah, man, I'd rather watch someone on YouTube play a game and get an opinion on it than
right. Absolutely, absolutely. Yep. Because know that it'll be genuine. You know what I'm saying? Well, maybe genuine. More likely to be genuine, I have to say.
Yeah, I was watching Extinction because they got a deal on it on Xbox Live, and the IGN review just made it look so boring. But watching other people play, it doesn't like a $60 game, but looks like it's worth the discount. Just watching other people play it. So,
it's funny that you're talking about this topic because I was watching a YouTube video the other day about Driver 3. Do you guys remember that game?
Yeah.
And like, remember how bad it was? Because part 1 and part 2 was pretty good.
Which one?
Driver.
Oh, yeah. Man, Driver 3 was horrible.
Yeah, and see, so I was watching this little documentary that another YouTuber did. It was pretty good, but I didn't realize that when Driver 3 came out, it was rushed. It wasn't finished, and back then, they weren't doing patches like that. So 2 magazines or websites or whatever gave this game like 9, and the game was absolutely dog shit.
Yeah, I had it, man. I bought it.
Oh, I bought it too, man. I was like, what the hell is this? But it got 2. Now, this was after San Andreas came out, right? So you like, what the fuck is this shit? Well, anyway, and every other website or magazine gave it 2s, 3s. But these 2 specific magazines gave it 9s. And come to find out, Atari, who published the game, Driver 3, paid them off.
Yeah.
and it was a big thing. Yeah. Wow. It was a big thing. And I didn't really realize it. I was like, wow. They paid them off to give them a good score. They got him a 9 on that dog shit game. Couldn't believe it. So, yeah, man.
It was horrible, man.
Yeah. There's ultimately a lot of that shit going. There was a lot of that shit going on back then, right? Yep. And it's starting, and it's starting to rear its ugly head, and it's a damn shame. But
Metal Gear Solid 5. they gave that game 10s.
Yeah. I think that was. Yeah, I think. Look, I'm gonna put it out here. I'm gonna put it out here.
The game is overrated, man.
The game is shit, man.
I'm gonna put it out here. We're gonna do this. Griggity gonna appreciate this. Oh man. If y'all don't see me next for after time, you gonna know that the mugs from the corporal came and snatched your boy up like on some X-File stuff. Look, I don't care what y'all say, right? I've been gaming for damn well over 30 years. Okay, I like a good story, like everybody else like, but a lot of these games that are published by Sony, I'm saying it, they get cranked up a little bit.
Oh shit! They're gonna come after you. They're gonna come after you.
And it started last gen, and here's why. Like Dean Takahashi had mentioned in this interview, a lot of these game reviewers, they love easy games. They love them because, again, if they're not hard, like Cuphead, you can whip through them. Boom, give you a review. You ain't got to put it on, because putting stuff on easy kind of like waters down the game too much. So people like to put it on normal. So if you can play the game on normal, it's easy. You could just go through it. Fantastic. And I'm going to put it out there. Prime example, Uncharted 4. Okay, look, y'all can like Uncharted 4 all you want. A game to me that I can play from beginning to finish on the second to hardest setting and die maybe 4 or 5 times max, something wrong. And I'm not a PlayStation guy. When I picked this game up, I hadn't touched a PlayStation in years. I'm not that good. Y'all see me on God of War. I get my ass kicked I die every 3 seconds. So a game like that, that's problematic for me. I don't care how good the story is.
I ain't gonna lie, Uncharted is easy if you got auto aim on.
It's just too, and with that horrible camera, I was still missing because the AI would run behind me, run right behind me with his gun pointed at my face, but then run 20 more feet and go behind cover. Like, come on, man. Like, stop. So with that being said, a lot of these PlayStation games, and I'm not saying the Xbox games are just out there. Xbox has had problems this year. All right. But it came back to games like Flower and all this other stuff. And then Journey. Y'all love Journey, but y'all
tell me about it, man.
Y'all talking shit on. Yeah, exactly.
I remember when this console war like started, like at the end of the 360 and the PS3.
Yeah.
But Sony fans were like, we got Little Big Planet. Yeah. What? like you see these hitters we got over here? We got Tension. we got hitters. Here's a War once, the whole series. Like, this is before they had The Last of Us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Come on in, Butter. All
the killer games were horrible. Haze was horrible. Like, and people don't realize. People don't remember or choose not to remember how horrible the PlayStation 3 started.
Oh.
It really didn't catch steam towards the end. Like, it was awful. Like, I had friends that got a PS3 was just so disappointed.
It was terrible. Hey, you know what, Noah? Moss and I was talking about that, how when the Xbox started messing up, focusing on the Kinect, that's when the PS3 started to get some good games.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, that's when I started looking on the other side. Like,
I didn't get a PS3 until 2010. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't even get one. I ain't gonna lie. Now I borrowed one when God of War, God of War Ascension came out.
Yeah,
like that God of War had me salty. Like, oh man, we need this. But yeah,
they beat me with a cash register. Beat me in the head with a cash register over the goddamn PlayStation. I bought 4 cards, man.
They were just so faking the phone. Hey, look, we got this resistance, man.
Yeah. Oh my God, doo-doo soup. The resistance.
Talking about no physics. They don't even have ragdoll physics and resistance.
Come on, man.
I didn't like Infamous. I didn't like Resistance. Now I did like Uncharted. Now I never played Uncharted 1 until the like Nathan Drake collection came out a couple years ago. Now the first Uncharted I played was 2, and that was fantastic. And Heavy Rain was pretty good. Then they started to have some games. Then The Last of Us came.
The only game they really had some steam on was like MotorStorm. when it launched, and then like people were bragging about PlayStation Home. Man, PlayStation Home was horrible, man.
Hey man, I was listening to a podcast where the mugs actually cried when they canceled PlayStation Home.
What?
They had PlayStation Home, and it was like, oh, we had to meet each other in real life because the digital cells were getting dissolved.
You know what? When I borrowed my PlayStation besides God of War, it spent most of its time donating cell processing to cancer or some shit. Remember that little app you can run on it?
Yeah,
to cure cancer. Yeah, I was doing that with the PS3, and
I was struggling to find a purpose for my PlayStation 3 so bad that I just turned it into a media server. That's it. It was just a media. PlayStation 3 was a hell of a media server.
It was.
Oh, here goes Butter. Here goes Butter. Butter, hey, yo, Butter ain't here like that. Oh man,
listen to y'all. So do I gotta become a ponies today, man? These ponies probably gonna love me.
It's enough ponies, man. We don't need no more, bro.
if you don't admit that the PS3 started off weak, then you.
Oh yeah, of course, man. I jumped on the Xbox. You know me, man. I'm a freelancer, bro. Like fuck it, like I ain't just giving away my money. When the PS3 did terrible, I got a 360, and I was talking a lot of shit to PlayStation fans. So you know how I do. So fuck it. Whoever winning, I'm on that side. Like I don't give a fuck. It's a lot wrong.
My issue is I'm an older gamer. All right, had my Geritol and all that shit every day, diapers and all. If you like the interactive movie like games where they're a little bit more easier or whatever, and you can cruise through them, fine. That's fine. The thing that irks me though is gameplay is the fundamental of games since games started. And I don't go to anybody and I don't say, hey, look, you like those story-based games. Yuck. But when them mugs come to me and be like, you focus more on gameplay. What the hell's wrong with you? Because the shit is called gameplay. Hence, it's a game. That's the thing that irks me is like when people try to downplay the importance of gameplay.
But you know why it's like that today, though? You know why? Because people are not really gamers. They like back then it was different. It was all about gameplay, right? Anything that's hard, it's not going to sell. Look at Ninja Gaiden, right? Ninja Gaiden 2 was one of the hardest games. Yeah. And I love that. But why isn't it selling? Because people will bitch about a game being hard. Literally, I mean, I don't want to point nobody out. I've seen people on YouTube bitch about a game being hard. Say, I'm not playing this game just because it's too hard. And these people, like, I'm telling you, it's crazy how much people bitch about games being hard. Yeah. So they got to dumb it down for people, like, and they're going to buy it because it's not too hard. They can beat it and feel good about themselves. That's what imagine, like, all the games was built like Ninja Gaiden. People are not going to be getting these achievements and trophies, and they're going to bitch about it all day. Like, they just, like, started catering because people are going to buy that shit. Like,
that's true.
If you're trying to play the hardest games, load up an NES. OG.
Never lied.
2 lives, 1 continue.
Hey, yo, Rhaegar. Y'all remember Rhaegar?
Yep.
Wasn't no safe, but I get to go from beginning to end on Rhaegar, yo.
What about Contra, bro?
Yeah. Yep.
Contra was tough.
Blaster Master. Did Blaster Master have codes? I don't think
Blaster Master was ridiculously hard, even with Game Shark codes. It was still hard. Still could not.
Battletoads.
Yeah.
Yep.
Battletoads.
Crazy.
It was impossible.
Yeah, no, but Butter, you hit that right on the nose, man. Like that's what it is. They're dumbing them down. But the problem is that when it comes to these reviewers, even though they're dumbing it down for the gamers, these reviewers / journalists / wannabes, they want it dumbed down even more.
Of course. Yeah.
Right.
IGN has the worst people. They bitch about a game being too difficult. They will give it a low score just because it's difficult. Like, I'm telling you, the reviewers, they are worse. Like, these casual gamers. Like,
they are, man. They are.
They never lied. Any other thoughts on that, though? But I found it interesting that Dean Takahashi decided to come back and try to have revisionist history. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, the problem was that people didn't give me, they didn't try, they judged me before the game came out. No, the problem was.
He need to admit that he did a horrible review. Like you can't suck at the game and review the game.
Yeah, exactly.
He already starting off wrong.
Yeah.
It's like he suck at games, period, and is still doing reviews. It's like that's what it seems like. Like he doesn't even really play.
It's one of the biggest turnoff. Like even when I see IGN, they play games and they suck at it. Like it just it's very cringing just to see that they got a whole company dedicated to gaming, but yet they suck. Like I don't understand that shit.
Yep. And then how about that Crackdown 3 reveal? It had all those people playing the game that didn't even know how to play games. Like,
oh my god,
yeah, that's gonna kill any game. When you got people that don't know how to play the game, that's a turn off for me personally. Like I just don't want the game. Like I need somebody who knows how to play the game to make it look fun. Yeah, like, that's the whole point of it. But you know what? It's all trying to get these celebrities on the game. Like. Mm-hmm. You know, that's all it really is. It's the same thing they did with that Battlefield with a whole bunch of celebrities. Like nobody knew what the hell they was doing. Like I was bro.
You know what that is, Butter? Because when Drake played Fortnite with Ninja, that just set the world ablaze. So everybody's trying to duplicate that. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta understand, this is something that's already popular. You know, popular with the kids and all of this stuff, and they just happen to throw Drake in the mix. You can't make something popular by just putting a celebrity on it. If you had something that's already, got traction, and then you throw a celebrity on it, then you know what I'm saying. Then it's a winning formula. But
right.
Stupid. It was stupid. That's what everybody. Tyrese playing Forza 4, getting doo-doo sauce thrown in his mouth. Come on.
Yeah, I saw that shit was terrible.
You can't put chocolate on chocolate. Pause. Come on.
Yeah, that shit was corny and terrible.
Yeah. Like, stop. Come on, man. Aaron Greensburg, come on, man. Come on, man. You need to get slapped with the Unity ring for that one, bro. But nonetheless, all right. And then I think the last topic before we get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about these summer games. In particular, Red Dead Redemption 2 is said to be 4K 30, I think. But it's native 4K on the Xbox One X. Y'all think that's going to be a difference maker on the sales of the game? Is it going to even it out a little bit more than your...
I don't know about that.
Well, hold on before y'all jump in. Matt Piscatella said the Xbox One X has strong sales. He said strong sales. So, and then on the heels of that,
it's no PC version, right?
No PC version. So we can't say I'm gonna play the best version on the PC. You can't get that. Can't use that excuse. And then I want to also talk about the rumors of PlayStation looking to cancel out the PlayStation Slim and only give you the PS4 Pro and drop that down to $299.
It needs to be done.
Yeah, both of them needs to do that. Microsoft needs to do the same thing. Okay. Honestly, they got to start now or never.
No, you know what? I'm gonna let the panel go down. Butter, you said something that I really just hit home. I'm gonna let the panel go down that and talk about that, and I'm gonna give my 2 cents. But go ahead, y'all. What y'all think about that? TRS. Let's start with TRS. What do you think about that? Let's just talk about the powerful consoles. PS4 Pro. They're looking at just have that as the main model. Get rid of the Slim. Drop that down to $299. And what about Xbox doing that? I mean, would that get your blood pumping? Would you make the upgrade, bro?
I was actually gonna do it anyway. But what I was trying to figure out, because the last time I had a PS4 was the original version from Uncle Randy. So I really don't know the difference too much between the Slim and the Pro. And that's what I was trying to figure out. Was the Pro higher than Slim? Because everybody talks about getting the Slim.
The Slim is cheap. Right. Okay. Time out. Let me go back a little bit, because everybody's talking like the Slim is only $200. Look, You know me, I'm cheap as hell. I've been trying to find a $200 Slim, and I can't. You can get a Slim used at $279. That's the best. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get a Slim. Last holiday, they dropped the price down to $200. You know what I'm saying? To $198, and that was a fantastic deal. And the difference between the Slim and the original model that you had, TRS, was that the Slim, it's a slightly more powerful, but it has HDR capabilities. They call it fake HDR. No, it was like that fake HDR.
Fake HDR.
Yeah, fake HDR. But if you have an HDR capable TV that the darks and stuff and the contrast, it makes that pop a little bit more. You can benefit from that, and that made the Slim a hell of a deal. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because I actually wanted to get I have both consoles. By the end of this year or something like that. And
what a lot of people did is they said, you know what? Fuck the Pro. You know, the Slim. If the Slim got HDR, I'll just get the Slim.
What makes it the Pro?
The Pro is their version of the 4K capable machine, and if you want to do VR, then you need a Pro.
Oh, okay.
You know, I mean, you could try.
You don't need one.
Why ain't gonna lie?
I think Jay Wags play his VR on the Slim.
Oh, he does? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you got a 4K TV, you selling yourself short by not playing on a Pro or X.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
I agree.
these 1080p games don't really scale that well.
Okay.
On 4K TVs, like to an untrained eye, you're probably fine with it. But once you see a 4K image on a 4K TV, it's like looking at a 480p image on a 1080p TV.
Yeah.
Right.
I had the Pro, and the reason why I turned mine in is I got the Pro before I got the X, and I was like, the guy was telling me, he was like, man, if you're looking for what the X is going to be able to do, don't get the Pro. Just wait for the X. You know what I'm saying? He said, get the Slim. I didn't listen to him. I got the Pro, and I already had the Slim Xbox, and that 4K X upscaled on the Xbox One S. Perfectum. Hey, yo, that joint is tight. That 4K upscale. So when I didn't notice much difference with the Pro, I was like, hold on. I traded it in, and I ended up getting the Xbox One X. With that said, the Pro is a better machine. Definitely, it's a better machine. But if you get the Slim, the PS4 Slim, I don't think you're too far off. But I agree to a certain extent that I think both companies should drop their lower end models and go with these higher end models. Before I get into my reasons why, Butter or Griggity, did y'all want to chomp in on that too?
Yeah, I was gonna say, they're gonna have to, because when Red Dead come out, like honestly, like I'm gonna pick up the X because I know for a fact I'm not gonna be trying to play Red Dead on this, on Xbox One, because it's not gonna I'm gonna have a lot of issues.
It's gonna be the worst version.
That thing gonna be like
so for me, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna, because games moving forward, man. I'm telling you, hardware wise, they're not gonna really be that capable, and that's the whole point, because they don't want to kind of, alienate their fans where people gonna be complaining, oh, like I can't play the game on this, like. So what the Sony and Microsoft is going to do, I started now, we're just going to drop these, and this is going to be the base, so we don't want to hear all of this flashback later on. So It's going to happen.
What do y'all predict the resolution is going to be on the base Xbox One for Red Dead Redemption 2?
I think it'll make 900.
Me too. I think at the highest is 900p. I can't see 1080p.
No, I can't see that either.
On the
I don't know. Remember, Grand Theft Auto was 1080p.
Yeah, it's Grand Theft Auto, but man, remember they cut all the. If it's 1080p, then we're gonna have another grass gate.
Yeah, probably.
Rockstar pretty talented. Was missing and houses not showing up.
Right. Hey, because I couldn't believe that it was like Grand Theft Auto 5 was 1080p on the Xbox One. I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
The horses ain't gonna have any fur.
Oh man, the nuts ain't gonna be shrinking like they was like talking about.
On my horse's nuts, man. What's? I'll show it me on my horse's nuts.
Hey, man, my opinion about this topic, though, just me personally, I think not yet, because I think if they do, they should maybe drop the price 100 on the Pro and 100 on the X, so the X would be 400, the Pro will be 300. Mm-hmm. But I think there's still a little bit left in the base models as far as, some casuals. They can lower the base models to 200 permanently. I think they will, just not quite yet, because even though next gen is around the corner, I still believe this year. Now, maybe next year, yeah, probably, but I think this year they should just lower the prices, but still sell them.
I want to just to go against that. I think when it comes down to it, probably developers want them to drop these base models, because it comes down to the developers too. Like, look, man, we're tired of trying to work with these on the power bullshit consoles. Like, we just want to work with the Pro and the X, moving forward. Like, you feel me? It's going to be much easier for us to do that. So
but still will be millions of them out there, though.
I mean, yeah, of course. But like I said, you got Black Friday coming up, Christmas, all of these holidays. People want to go out and buy the X and the Pro.
I ain't gonna lie, but on the count of that though, these developers, that money's priority. So They already know that the base model, there's more base models out in the wild.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Of course, they're gonna continue to make game. Like, it's gonna take a while before they fade them out. But I guess they just want to see how many Pro and the X they have. Then they can be like, all right, you know what? It's about time we put these out. Like,
yeah. Now, I don't think the rumor's true because from a business standpoint, like the way Sony is selling these PS4s.
Yeah, man.
I can't see them discontinue something. That's from a business standpoint. It's dumb.
The rumor. Look, listen, man. One thing I know about rumor is always these companies just trying to see how people are going to feel about it, right? If there's no backlash, you best believe they're going to do it. But if people are bitching, they probably going to be like, we just going to hold off a little bit. That's all that really is. It's just to see, all right, are they going to be complaining about this already or not? If nobody's complaining, then it's a green light for them to do it. But if people are going to complain, it's more like, let's put a pause to it.
But Sony's like one of the last companies that really care about backlash. Honestly,
yeah. I mean, you sure that's what it may seem to be.
Now, if it was Microsoft, then you know that would be a point. But Sony doesn't really.
I mean, Sony cares. The only difference is that they're willing to challenge it first, right? With Microsoft, the moment you complain, they just drop everything, and just backtrack. Sony probably, it takes a while for them to backtrack. You really got to go super hard, for them to backtrack.
But I don't even think there's any. I don't even think there's any validity to this rumor, man. I think somebody just ran right about.
Yeah, I can't see. I can't see why they would. Like you said, Noah, these things are still selling like hotcakes, man. Why? I mean, they got Days Gone coming out next year. Maybe Last of Us 2. So it's like I can't see them doing it. Not yet. Maybe next year, but not this year. That's my opinion.
Maybe once the new platform is announced, the PS5 is announced,
definitely.
Then they may start to slowly get rid of the slims. But maybe there's some documents stating maybe a year or two in advance, and that's what's leaked or whatnot. But I think the information that's out is too ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this. All right, so let's just say, because there's a lot of talk about the PlayStation possibly not being backwards compatible. The PlayStation 5 not being backwards compatible with the PlayStation 4.
Stupid.
Let alone it not being forwards compatible, meaning, Microsoft, it's been revealed pretty much by Microsoft that they're done with generations. It's being rumored and it's been taunted heavily that this Xbox Scarlet is actually compatible with any game released on the Xbox One, meaning it's backwards compatible, and any game that's released on the Scarlet models can be playable in any of your Xbox One consoles. So it's forwards and backwards compatibility. There's no more generations. Everything's cross-generation with Microsoft. But if Sony does get rid of the PlayStation 4 Slim and just sells the PlayStation 4 Pro, I think that's a sure tell sign that that's not true, that they will have backwards compatibility and even forwards compatibility. What are your thoughts on that?
Who you ask?
Anybody want to grab?
Man, I think that's a slap to the face of your fan base if you don't make the PlayStation 4 games compatible, especially if you're using the same infrastructure. If you're using architecture, if you're using the x86 processor and the AMD, I'm pretty sure it's not much work to make those games backwards and forwards compatible.
Right.
So I mean, I can't really understand why, if you're using the same architecture, why you wouldn't be able to. I think it's just being greedy, it's just being anti-consumer at this point, especially in 2018.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say this, man. If Sony is that stupid and didn't learn shit from the PlayStation 3 era, they just gonna run their company to the fucking ground, pretty much. Like that is the stupidest thing to not do, because for a fact they're not gonna have games in the beginning of the generation. With The Last of Us, God of War, and all of these games, why would you not want to have backward? Why would you not have that? You already have a library good enough. to sustain you to all your own PS5 games come out. You just gonna be like, nah, we're not gonna do backward compatible. Like that is the stupidest thing like ever for them to not do. You have a solid library sitting right there. You're not gonna take advantage of that moving forward. I mean, if that rumor is true, they really are not gonna do it. It's the stupidest thing ever for a company to do. Like,
I agree about it. Man, they have to do that. I think they will. I'm not gonna say that will just really kill them next gen. I'm not gonna go that far, but it will definitely hurt them because why not? I mean, just do it. Just make it backwards compatible. If they don't make it backwards compatible, like you guys said, that's them being arrogant dicks. They can do it because, like you said, Noah, the whole infrastructure is there. They can do it. If they don't, they're just being dicks, flat out, arrogant dicks.
And if they're not doing it, TRS, I think that it's because they want to push that PlayStation Now service, because they just released a deal where you could get it at a heavy discount for like 3 months or something like that. So in the PlayStation Now service is their streaming service where you can stream X amount of games, mainly PlayStation 3 games because of the cell processor that you couldn't do backwards compatibility, right?
Right.
So if they don't do it, it's because they're trying to push PlayStation Now. Do you think that's...
But they can do both, technically. Those that already own the games can, get the backward compatible. Those that never bought God of War can go to PlayStation Now and subscribe to that and get to play the game. So if they honestly want to keep all that 80 million units, they better like if I were them, like honestly, like come on, that's gonna be the stupidest thing to not do that. You can keep both, do backward and the PlayStation Now. So those who never bought The Last of Us God of War can subscribe and get those games. Those who bought it can re-download the game and play it.
Yep.
I think it's bullshit. I don't believe it's true. I actually don't, because first of all, they're a business.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're gonna, turn down. Worst case scenario, it's gonna be something like you guys were talking about, like a Game Pass or something like that. I doubt that they're gonna do the take out the backwards compatibility because it's not lucrative. So I don't believe that because they want money.
Also they can see that Microsoft is actually doing really good with this.
Right.
Come on, like if you have any brain, you're gonna copy what your competition is doing.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I don't believe that at all. I really don't.
Hey, Moss, but going back to the first question about Red Dead.
Yeah.
So it's supposedly native 4K on the X, huh?
Yes, sir. It's supposed to be native 4K, which would be, what is that? What's the resolution?
3840 by 2160.
2160. That's what they're saying. And
so what's the resolution on the Pro?
I don't know.
They're going to be checkerboard in 4K.
Well, like Digital Foundry, didn't they do excuse me, didn't they do like an analysis on the trailer?
They probably did. I can't remember. Oh no, yeah, because that's what. Yeah, my big ups to my man Uptown Soul. That was one of the things we slaughtered him on. Uptown Soul was talking about that because remember, Rockstar had said that it was going to be 4K, and we were like, hold on, 4K is actually blah 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 blah, and hey, this is why when people are listening, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Xbox, after that whole to shebang about whether it was native 4K, and me and the Real Master, and big up to the Real Master, we called out Xbox. So we said, if it's not going to be, what's the resolution again, though?
3840 by 2160p.
If it ain't 3840 by 2160, it's not real 4K. It's not native. If it's not native, then it's not real 4K. And maybe they went back and said, Rockstar, please, man, they calling us out, man, please, and they made it happen. So big ups to that. But yeah, man. I think it's going to be 1900. Digital Foundry says it's a marvelous 1900s with the pixels going in a diagonal circle or some shit.
Marvelous.
I think that's cool. Because I was pretty impressed when Far Cry 5 was native 4K earlier this year on the X.
Oh yeah.
I noticed one thing about Digital Foundry. They really know how to make when Sony. Come short. They really know how to fluff it.
Yeah,
it's a pristine 1440p. It almost looks 4K. I mean, it's a smooth 30 frames per second. Like what?
And the Switch also, they made the Switch sound real good.
Mm-hmm. Look, man, you gotta understand how Digital Foundry work, right?
So you mean to tell me a checkerboard at 1440p image looks like 4K, but when Xbox X games are running at 2016p, it's a little soft, you know. Like,
look, man, look. Digital Foundry, they trying to make their money. You feel me? They ain't trying to get these fanboys angry out threatening them. So they gotta make shit sound like nice. It may not be good, but it's good enough for them to come back and be like, I told you. It's not that big of a difference, like Digital Foundry said.
Wow, the way they implemented these baked lights and baked shadows, it's amazing. I've never seen it.
Absolutely
done like
fantastic, eh?
But killed Forza 5. Forza 5 had baked shadows.
Oh yeah,
and baked lighting. The baked lighting just takes away from the game. It's just I don't. It's 2013. Everything should be
exactly. They the one that started that like grassgate shit.
Grassgate shit. That's why they started that shit. Yeah. That's why I gave them the first honorary "Shut the Fuck Up" award. Because
I think they learned their lesson from that shit. Like,
yeah.
Keep your
they was rolling with it. Hey, look, man, everybody was talking resolution. Remember, what was it? IGN had the resolution chart. Where they were showing you all the different resolutions before the X came out. Once the X was announced, all that shit shut down.
And then, you know what's so terrible though, Moss? When the X came out, the fucking PlayStation started dropping games. Like fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but that was
look. And I gotta give credit where credit is due with Sony. Like they really know how to turn shit around. Like that's the thing about Microsoft. Like that's the only thing about Phil I really gets me mad is because Yoshida, he a smart motherfucker. Like he knows his advantage and disadvantage. Soon as the X came out, them games start flying out like God of War and all of this shit. I'm like, they knew.
Stop dropping games.
Yeah, they knew. I'm telling y'all, that's the thing about I give Sony credit on that. Like they really are opportunists. Like
they are ultimate opportunists. Yeah,
like they take
that's what I'm trying. But you bring up a good point. This is where I was trying to explain to people I was arguing with on Twitter because they were like, why are you getting mad at MM2K when Microsoft give accolades to Sony? Sony did it. Remember Yoshida said congratulations? No, that was a Japanese company congratulations, meaning, motherfucker, I'm coming for you.
It's on.
Exactly. It's on. Yep. And you know what Yoshida did? Right? When everybody went and myself cheesing and smiling, you know what I'm saying? Got our Xbox One X showing nothing but teeth. And we thought that the Xbox was going to win that MPD. Yoshida picked up that phone, dropped the price. And hung it out. Dropped the price.
Oh, yeah.
A week earlier.
Dropped
that's why I probably would have won that month because they dropped a week earlier.
The numbers that was released by Reset Era had said that the console only lost by 30,000 units.
Yeah. Let me tell you, it's 2005, right?
Mm-hmm.
About to be the PlayStation 3 is about to release next year. The Xbox 360 had a good start. Yoshida, what do we do? Mm-hmm. Hey, show these niggas Final Fantasy 15, but it doesn't release to 2015.
Hell yeah, man! I'm telling you, like, that's why people don't seem to understand when it comes to Sony and business. Like they on that shit. Like they will do anything to take attention away from Microsoft. Like that's how they roll. Like I'm telling you, they plan that shit out.
There is so much excitement and anticipation around the PlayStation brand. Mm-hmm. Phil Spencer holds everything to his chest. Like, show us something. Show us something, motherfucker. Show us.
Yeah, man.
It's like
we don't know what we get next year. We know all we know is Crackdown 3, and that's up in the air.
But as far as new IP, no, you don't. You don't know.
This one is XO show, man. They got to show us something, man. They're making a big deal. Listen, there's no PSX. They have the floor to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They got to show us something.
Here's the problem. I think Phil. I'm dropping a video on this soon. Phil has 3 flaws. Flaw number 1 is that he's more patient than the demographic of the company that he serves. Number 2, he wants to serve a greater purpose for all gamers. And 3, their business strategy is set up for them to be the GE of the gaming world. Here, I'm gonna go through them one quickly. First one, where he's more patient to us. Phil likes to give you surprises. That's why he waited until a month before the XO event was released to drop it on what's it called? You should have talked about that a couple months ago to build up the anticipation. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. 2, he wants to be he wants to give all to the gaming world. He doesn't believe that the gaming world needs to come to me to get the best. He wants to give the best to the gaming world, meaning I don't like to hold content from I don't like to hold content from other gamers. Motherfucker, that's what you're supposed to do. Okay? Right. You're supposed to have something that other people don't have, so they come to you. You know, that's business 101. And lastly, they're happy being the GE of the gaming world, meaning GE, when do you see GE advertising something? We're better at this, we're better at that. GE just likes to let you know that they're everywhere, right? That's what Microsoft does. They don't say we're better than this company and that company and this. We're just everywhere. And that's what Microsoft is trying to do. And I don't know if that's the best strategy. Thoughts on that? Anybody?
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. My only issue with Phil is this, right? Mm-hmm. Like the whole PC stuff needs to go. Like that. That's the only thing that pisses me off. All that energy he's putting into the PC community, honestly, needs to like stop catering to them dudes. Like, because that's the biggest problem right now. You see how he got that backlash from that game on Minecraft that's going to be on PC, and Xbox dudes still not having no games. It's like you're giving them exclusive, and we over here sitting there. What the 1X? Still waiting for that game. Yep. And you're gonna go ahead and make an exclusive like Minecraft on PC? Like,
hey, David
getting our game, but we're not even getting nothing.
Dave and Buster's got an exclusive before we did.
That's what I'm talking about. Like shit like that is what makes like fans even more mad. Like I'm getting tight, like because I'm like, yo, I pay money for my Xbox, bro. What are you doing? Like you don't cross the street over here playing Spider-Man, giving PC players exclusive games, and then telling us to wait. Every time you tell us to wait, you giving someone else an exclusive game. Like, what are you doing?
That's the being everything to everybody instead of making everybody get everything from you. That's the problem.
That's the problem. And I think that's why a lot of fans is getting frustrated because it's like we're waiting for something, but other people aren't. Like, I'm like, yo, seriously? So you're catering to the PC more than the Xbox, right? Yeah. And that's the only thing that's pissing me off.
I ain't gonna lie, Spartan God. I look at Microsoft. Microsoft came out the winner of the 360 era.
Yeah, they did. They did. Yeah, they sold more software. So
they're 2-1 to Sony. but this is a blowout. This gen is a blowout.
Yeah, and you know what's so funny because I like people always say how the PS3 came back, and they kind of did. They did. As far as worldwide,
they did. Well, the generation was already over. Like to me, I was like, look, they did their thing.
Yeah, it was because I think the PS4 and the one was out like when they announced that they came back or whatever, but. People don't talk about how the 360 dominated in America, man. They outsold the the 360 sold the PS3 about maybe 20 million consoles in the last gen.
Sony had to take Microsoft's playbook last gen to catch up.
Absolutely. I mean, the rare wings of death didn't stop the 360 from killing. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I will say this though. The thing that kind of made Sony come back, like at the end of the day, right? We could say, oh, it's always been about power, but it's always been about games. That's the thing people don't seem to understand. Even though Sony got hacked, that didn't really stop them from putting out games. And I give them a lot of credit, right? They was in their fucking their mama's basement when they lost everything, still out there just with duct tapes and shit, trying to put something together to give their fans. That's what made the comeback. When Uncharted started coming out and The Last of Us, that started changing things.
The emails that came out, all of the the negative press on the emails.
Oh, right.
The TV stopped selling.
About that.
I think it's bigger than just games. Exclusives do matter. I've given the scenario where the hardcore jumps out the window, casuals surround them. Why do they jump out the window? And the casuals always want to be like the hardcore, but just for a little bit of time. You know what I mean? So I think what it is identity. And PlayStation marketed an identity of we're for the gamers better than Microsoft. And Microsoft is still stumbling over themselves and trying to figure it out. But to answer my boy D Almighty to his question, no, see, this is the problem. You're number one, you're focused on consoles, but let's talk about consoles because he says D Almighty, the homie says also to add Xbox 360 sales numbers are inflated because he's talking about the red ring of death. Well, you can say that about Sony because Sony comes out with a new console every 5 days and people rebuy the new consoles. You know what I'm saying? So red ring of death, new console. What's the deal? You know what I'm saying? But it's bigger than you can't measure success by consoles alone. Consoles help the success, but it's the softwares. Actually, in software sales, Microsoft was 1, PlayStation 3 was actually 2, Nintendo Wii was 3. So PlayStation actually sold more software than the Nintendo Wii. But go ahead, Griggity. I'm sorry.
No, so the Red Wings of Death. So what are people saying that they were like rebuying Xbox consoles?
Yeah, that's not entirely true, but yeah.
No, I mean that's not because I had to send mine and they sent mine back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, you know,
like I had 3 of them, but it kind of was the red ring, but it wasn't. It's like my original, I sold it or got rid of it and got the new one because they had an
upgrade. Exactly. Yeah, I always got the upgrade.
Right. Yeah,
and then the Elite came out, the Jasper, the Elite.
Yep.
And I got the red ring of death on the second one. I know, so I had to. I went and got the Elite. I mean, I could have sent it in, but I ain't gonna lie, I wanted the Elite because it had like more hard drive space.
Yeah,
you know, I had the money
that built-in Wi-Fi too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So yeah, you can look at it both ways. I mean, yeah, Sony doesn't have the red ring of death, but they have a new console every 5 days, and people are, you know, every time they drop one, they sell like hotcakes. Now, you know, come on now, you know what I'm saying? It's a replication of sales there too. But the biggest thing, but people got to remember when you're talking about winning, it is not the sale of the console. It starts the sales of the consoles are at the base. But it's about software sales. You got to pay attention to overall software sales. And yes, Sony is destroying an overall software sales, period. There's no question about that. But when you look at last gen, Microsoft was like 50 million ahead of Sony, I think, or 50 or 60 million ahead. And they both destroyed. I think they both like around 900 million pieces of software being sold. And then the Wii was at 800 million. So,
but like people really need to sit back and thank Microsoft for making Sony great again.
Yeah. Yep.
PlayStation 3 was done.
PlayStation 3 was dog shit.
It was done. Like Microsoft's Xbox 360 set the standard of what online play was.
Absolutely. Party chat, achievements,
all of that, man. Like all of that stuff got introduced with the 360. Because Sony was getting beat so bad, that's why they became great again. Like the competition, like what they say, steel sharpens steel. So Sony had to bring the PlayStation brand back up to what it used to be and up to Microsoft's level. So, and the same thing's happening this gen. Like Microsoft is Sony is wiping the floor with Microsoft.
Yeah.
So at the end, it's gonna make, well, hopefully make Microsoft a better brand. I mean, this is how competition works. I mean, we don't want one company. Could you imagine if PlayStation 3 that was the end of
that? They would become complacent. Like that's not good for the company.
We would have became PC gamers this gen. Xbox hasn't been the best generation. So competition is always good.
It's always.
If you think about this, man, like you said, the 360 was so dominant last gen that I know you guys heard the story that most of the industry thought the 360 the Xbox One was going to dominate this gen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's why the whole Titanfall deal was made. You know,
all they had to do was make a more powerful console.
Yep.
Leave all that DRM stuff alone and just make it.
Well, hold on. We had the homie Randolph Thor on, and he said something legitimate that I can kind of verify from the sources that I've heard. But he said that PlayStation was going to do the DRM too, and they pulled it at the last minute, and that was a marvelous move.
I'm not debating that. I'm just saying, look at the results. Because they went the DRM route.
Yeah,
it gave people all they had to do was say, "This is a more powerful 360."
Yeah,
it dropped the mic.
That's all they had to do.
Again, you know what I'm saying?
Do you know what it was that killed Microsoft? Honestly, the truth is, it's I think me personally, right? This is what like I said, the difference between Phil and your shooter. Phil talks too much sometimes. To me,
I agree.
You say too much. The thing about people is this: they don't like too much information. You feed them little by little, moving forward. If he did not come out, always got to be online, connect, DRM, all of this crap, like people wouldn't have gotten so pissed off because it just overloaded people's fucking brain. They just got so.
That was Donnie D. That was Donnie D.
But, man, I ain't gonna lie, I like the TV feature. Like
no,
they didn't have to spend so much time on it.
They spent too much time on the TV features, and it was just like less.
It's a great option though, but like you said, they spent too much time.
I hope they don't do away with it because I really like it.
That's why
it's the best thing ever do.
Brain snap back.
I think seeing that they came out and they literally flipped the whole entire script, like about the always being online. You don't gotta always be online. You know, your games are yours. You don't gotta.
This is how you trade your game.
Exactly. And they
killed them, man. They killed them with that, man.
Yep.
Hey, another thing too, man. A lot of people don't know this, but Microsoft made Sony great again because the PlayStation 3 almost released without a graphics card. It was just going to be the cell processor in the beginning.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, they were talking about the specs earlier on. Yeah, a lot of people,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
A lot of people forget that. You know what? And the fact that that PlayStation 3 was going to last you 2 generations.
They did not. Yeah, they said 10 years, right?
Yeah, they were like, when Microsoft drops its next console, we're not making another console because the cell processor, even though the graphics won't be that great on our system, the cell processor will make it okay. And they were okay with that because for the simple fact that the original Xbox looked so much better than the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 2 dominated. They didn't expect that all of the exclusives would, be on both platforms.
The OG PlayStation 3 was supposed to have 2 HDMI ports, was supposed to run games at 1080p, 120 hertz. And also it was supposed to be, so if I have my PlayStation 3 on and your PlayStation 3 is on at your house and we're connected to the internet, we were supposed to be able to share processing power, kind of like cloud processing.
Yep.
But none of that stuff
talking about that. Yep.
Ever came to fruition.
It was way too early for that.
I'm gonna be honest though.
It was too
the OG PS3 was like that shit was nice. Like I like
the backwards compatible
front. Yeah, you can open up the front and put like a memory chip in there and all of that.
The fat one.
Yeah, that shit was nice, but that shit cost them a lot of money though, to do all of that shit.
Yeah.
It was
man, I love a lot of money. Man, I love the PS2, right? They came out with that price. I was like, man, fuck this. I'm a 360 dude.
Hey, the PS2 was beautifully designed, like the blue and green lights, man.
I hope, I ain't gonna lie. If Sony turned the PS5 into like the same design as the PS2, though, that should be nice. They could really make a come up on that, like a shinier version, like the same exact like the OG PS2, but like the PlayStation 5 with just a little bit of like people buy that shit.
Man,
nostalgia is a big.
It's something about that blue LED light, bro, on that PlayStation.
Dope, man.
Yeah, like nostalgia, man. They could catch people off.
And I played
with that shit.
The game that sold me on the PS2 was NBA Street. And I played that.
Man.
That was the shit.
Hey, I got
it, man. And NFL Street also.
Yeah,
that shit was like. That was like the best game that I played.
And then the SmackDown, I used to love WWE.
Hey man, I was literally about to say that shit. SmackDown, not shut your mouth. What was the Here Comes the Pain?
Here Comes the Pain.
Yeah. Oh my god, dog.
Man, that was my game, dog. My little brother had a GameCube and like 3 games and 2 controllers. He traded all of that just for SmackDown.
That was the best. Hey, but to this day, it's one of the best wrestling games ever, man.
GameStop got us, but we traded a whole system in games just for SmackDown.
Damn. Hold on, what? Y'all traded the whole GameCube and some games just for SmackDown.
Yep.
Memory cards with their shady bullshit. Like.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to be it, people. I wanted to talk about the games coming for the holiday season, but we could get into that next week. But before we go, because we're hitting on the 2-hour mark, can we get everybody what they plan on getting into for the gaming week? Let's start with Dirt Griggity. What's going on? What you getting into? What you plan on getting into this gaming week, bro?
Actually, man, I preloaded. I pre-ordered Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Woo!
I enjoy Origins. I finished that, so I'm looking forward to this one, man. I really am. Because at first I wasn't going to get it. Then I saw those reviews. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
Maybe I should check it out.
Yeah, because I'm gonna. Hopefully, I can finish God of War so I can start that. I want to play Assassin's Creed.
Hey man, you got to finish that God of War.
I know,
bro.
man.
Yeah, but yeah, you like 9 months behind, bro. Like baby's been born since you started.
What you say? I'm in my 5th trimester and shit.
Yeah, man.
Oh, Butter, what you getting into, bro? You gonna be able to play some games, man? I know you've been busy at work, man. What's going on?
Right now, I actually was just playing Spider-Man, so it was a good game. Honestly, that, and then like I said, just blew the shit out of me. Like I was never expecting the Spider-Man game to be this good, but great. So far so good. I'm thinking about picking up the Assassin's Creed because I did love Origins though. But I'm only on the fence about it because it's too much like Origin, like just like a couple of tweaks. But I'm still gonna get it because I like RPG games a lot. So,
word. Noah, what you getting into, bro?
Man, I'm a gamer, man. Let me start off with I'm on this NBA 2K, so
always 2K is that shit.
Getting my pro
VCs, right? How much money you spend on that shit?
I bought the $99 version.
I knew it.
I think I just spent like an extra $30, maybe 30. I think.
I'm mad they didn't even get no backlash though. Like 2K did not get no like what?
Hey man, the 2K is protected. they almost can do no wrong. Like
dead ass.
We hate it, but we tolerate it. You know what I mean? Shadow Tomb Raider, I'm 70% through, man. I'm loving the game. I'm loving the exploration and the puzzles.
Yeah, game dope too. Yeah.
Playing through Spider-Man, just pre-ordered Red Dead Redemption 2, and I think I'm gonna picking up Extinction, man. It's a deal on Xbox Live, so
was it like $20 or something?
Yeah, 21. You get the deluxe edition.
That game sucks, bro. I'm just being honest with you. It's not
played it?
worth
You got it?
That game sucks. I played it on PlayStation. That shit is fucking trash. Like,
man. not even $20. Not even $20.
Bro, that game should be on Game Pass. I don't even know if it's worth being on Game Pass.
I ain't gonna lie. It done happened to me before. Now I done bought a game, and the next month, Extinction on Game Pass.
I guarantee you, 2-3 hours in, probably 2 hours in, you're gonna be like, this shit trash. Like the combat is lackluster. Like it's just so repetitive. Like
I just want to chop the heads off of the giant monsters.
Yeah, they made that shit look cool, like in the gameplay. But when you play that shit, I was like, God damn, this shit is garbage.
Real. All right, man. I'll reconsider. I might.
Yeah, bro. You can spend your $20 on something else, man. I'm just telling you.
Appreciate the heads up, man.
Wow. Oh. Me, on the other hand, well, no, damn, TRS.
Yeah,
he was crying about.
Yeah.
What you getting into, bro?
Yeah. Well, other than Destiny, of course, because I am the official Destiny bot. I'm trying to get deep into Vanquish. That's kind of tight. I'm kind of going back into nostalgia, man. So Vanquish is kind of tight.
Oh,
I never played it before, man. This shit's blowing my mind. So I'm liking that, and I'm also deep in RPGs myself. So, but I'm doing most of those on the phone right now. So I'm doing a couple of them right now that I'm really liking.
Word. Well, y'all heard it from your boy. I'm gonna finish this God of War, and then I'm gonna pick up that Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and then in addition to that, I'm going to I'm gonna start. I got Spider-Man. I gotta play Spider-Man, and then
you gotta finish that game, bro.
I know, man. I'm telling you,
I got Detroit too, man. You get the chance.
I can't do that shit, man.
Man, that's
Spider-Man.
Hey, that Detroit shit was fire, bro.
Man, I can't. Hey, man, look, I got ADHD and what do you call that shit? Alzheimer's. No, what do you call that?
HIV.
No, shit.
I would say like Detroit, you could play that on your off day. You feel me? Like you just need something to relax.
Great story.
I don't know what some people did, man. Ran through the game in less than like 8 hours, and just to throw a review out there, man.
I want to see people get stabbed, bleed, and die, and shot up and shit. Autism. I got autism, man. I got I'm all over the place and shit.
You know a game I can't wait to go back into? That Hitman Blood Money, man. That game was a classic on the 360.
Oh, it's about that's PC now, right?
So it's going to be on backwards compatible. Well, it is backwards compatible, but it's free for Xbox Live Gold on.
That's right.
Well, I think it's on the 15th.
Okay.
Yeah, man, that's like one of the best hit, man.
I got to get back into Far Cry 5. I was loving that for a minute.
Shout out to Neverland, man. Neverland blowing up Twitter. He sold his Xbox One X and got a.
Yo, how many times is he gonna do that though? Like,
Tim Dog got him too, bro. Tim Dog ain't shit, man.
yo, Tim Dog be watching in the
shit,
back.
though.
Yo, I be telling niggas like Tim Dog, he be peeping everything. Like,
Hell yeah. Hey, man, but I don't understand that shit. Okay, if you're having some type of financial issues, okay, I get it. But why are guys is constantly selling their system? They're picking it back up. Like, there's even some Xbox people that got that. Like they bought some PS4s. They
told me.
I'm telling you, man, that shit never makes sense to me. Like when dudes buy a PlayStation, sell it to get Xbox, and it's just like
hey,
just
Neverland.
Xbox.
Neverland said he gonna take advantage of his 14-day return. He gonna swap systems every 14 days.
You know what? I can't even complain though. Like
in the beginning of the month, he's a Sony pony. And at the end of the month,
he wanted to away every week.
Neverland is Hustle Man 2.0, man.
Exactly.
Like, MF2K, why did you buy your PlayStation 4 from Kohl's and then at midnight on the 13th day take it back? Tell him you spilled black pudding on it.
Listen, he just watching whoever winning, man. Oh shit, the pony is losing. I gotta take it back. Coming back, like I'm an Xbox today, like.
Oh man, Neverland.
Had been a minute ago. Oh, hold on, it's the 14th day. Let me get this game back. Let me pack this thing up.
He making sure
he's still before midnight. I still got the receipt.
But yo. That's it for the podcast right now. I want to thank everybody for coming through. I think we're going to close this out with my peoples. My man, big ups to LA Butter for coming through. Thank you, LA. And my man's Noah, 706 Gamer. Check him out. My Triple B brethren. And, of course, the co-host of Scram Punk's Dirt Griggity, TRS. Hey, we appreciate all of you stopping by.
Man.
And as always, you have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day.
Yeah.
Peace.